866-543-0745 and see if Spectre Law Group can get you your green card. If you need to apply for your relatives abroad, call Spectre Law Group to do it right. If you or your loved ones are facing deportation, call immediately. Spectre Law Group now offers consultations over the phone or Zoom. Now is the time to talk to New York's most trusted immigration lawyers. Write this number down, 646-543-0745, or visit them at SpectreLawGroup.com. That's SPEKTOR lawgroup.com. Spectre Law Group, your immigration lawyer.
When's news time? 6:11. That's time for traffic and transit with Greg Rice.
Well, so a whole lot you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Verrazano, Brooklyn bound, upper level, a mess with a crash. Brooklyn bound lower is what you do at the Verrazano instead. You got crashes on the upper level either way on the George Washington Bridge. Outbound upper level closer to Jersey, a couple of lanes are out. Inbound upper level into the apartments, you'll lose the center lane, so stay with the lower either way at the George. Off of the inbound George, southbound west side with some trouble into the 140. Southbound Deegan overall, best way out of town, and again, lower level is what you want. Lincoln's about 15 in, as 495 is starting to flare up again, eastbound towards 1 and 9. Outbound Lincoln, no more than 10. Outbound Holland behaves. Outbound covered roadway is fine, or I should say is a bit slow. The inbound Skyway is getting worse, so the Newark Bay is the better idea either way. Northbound Whitestone Expressway getting worse because right off of the northbound Whitestone Expressway, getting onto the southbound Cross Island, a truck sneaked on, and this is really what's backing up the northbound Whitestone Expressway from 20th Avenue onto the southbound Cross Island. Clearview, Throgs Neck combination either way, still going to be better. Grand Central stays slow in either direction over at Kew Gardens because of the earlier westbound car fire on the Jackie Robinson, and the southbound Garden State Parkway looks like a crash in Kenilworth makes a mess all the way back towards Irvington. Traffic is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
The deals are icy at Whole Foods Market. Get ice cream and frozen desserts 35% off with Prime through July 11th. From popsicles to pints, we've got the perfect way to satisfy your sweet tooth. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Rumors of reduced humidity tomorrow, at least for one day. Let's check out the forecast now with Brian Thompson. Brian?
Yeah, a little bit of relief coming, bud, and that'll actually start to come down tonight, and that will lead to a somewhat more comfortable night as temperatures will dip a little bit lower than what we've been seeing recently. The radar is still pretty clear right now across the area. Still can't rule out a shower very early this evening, but for most of us, the rain threat is done for a little while. We'll have a partly cloudy sky, low 68 tonight in the city, but closer to 60, if not even into the upper 50s in some of the coolest suburbs. Turning out warmer tomorrow, but not that humid with sunshine and a few afternoon clouds. Up to 88 tomorrow afternoon. Mainly clear and warm tomorrow night, low 74 in the city. It'll be in the 60s in both suburbs. And then the humidity does start to return on Wednesday. A hot day with some sun. Still looks mainly dry, though, with a high of 92. By Thursday, the humidity continues to rise. We'll see some sunshine and the risk for an afternoon thunderstorm. The best chance for those storms will be north and west of the city. Thursday's high about 87 degrees. And still the risk for a shower storm into Friday and Saturday as well. 83 degrees right now. It's partly sunny in Midtown. We're going down to 68. I'm back here with the meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station. 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Thanks, Brian. When's news time? 6:14 coming up. You knew it would eventually come to this. A chatbot officiating at a wedding.
Here's an NYCB Theater at Westbury concert update. Coming up this month, July 16th, Gladys Knight. July 18th, Belinda Carlisle. July 22nd, Johnny Mathis. Don't miss these iconic artists performed live on stage at the NYCB Theater at Westbury. Get tickets now at livenation.com or the box office, part of the Catholic Health Concert Series.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, head dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Compassion is a very important word, especially in today's world. The need for a very special kind of compassion becomes especially poignant within the tenets of the Jewish tradition and Jewish funeral service. Riverside Memorial Chapel, the largest source of Jewish funeral professionals in the New York area, has set the standard for that very special kind of compassion and trust since 1897. For generations, leaders from Charles Rosenfeld to Charles Solomon have practiced their beliefs that Jewish funeral service is not merely a business, but a solemn trust to the families they serve. Compassion is the most important word, and the understanding of the true meaning of the word compassion as it relates to individual needs is what has made Riverside Memorial Chapel the source of support for the Jewish people since 1897. Call 212-362-6600 or visit riversidememorialchapel.com.
Wins News Time 6:16. Technology marches on. At a wedding last month in Morrison, Colorado, near Denver, no need for a priest or a rabbi or a minister or a judge or any official. They used a chatbot. Reese Wiench and Dayton Truitt got married in a church that dates back to the 1800s, but as far as officiating is concerned, they were looking to the future. The couple says they planned the wedding in 5 days because Truitt was about to deploy for the Army, and Wiench wanted to join him after basic training. In Colorado, you don't need a licensed marriage official to officiate, so a chatbot it was. No word on who gave the best man toast. The PGA's Chief Operating Officer Ron Price is scheduled to testify tomorrow at Congress about the tour's controversial merger with the Saudi-backed Live Golf Tour. He defends it in an op-ed in The Athletic today, saying it's the best outcome for the future of golf. But one influential member of the PGA's policy board has resigned.
Former AT&T executive Randall Stevenson resigned from the PGA Tour's policy board, citing serious concerns about the tour's pending merger with Saudi-backed Live Golf. In his resignation letter, Stevenson specifically mentions his concerns over the U.S. intelligence report, which links Saudi Arabia to the 2018 murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Later this week, the PGA Tour is scheduled to testify before a Senate subcommittee, which is investigating the possible merger.
It's correspondent Erica Herskowitz. Easily my favorite story of the day, this one. For years, tennis has worked hard to prove that it's not a clubby, upper-crust sport. And many of the sport's greatest champions, Billie Jean King, the Williams sisters, Martina Navratilova, grew up playing in public parks. This story, though, will not help. At a match Sunday at Wimbledon, umpire John Blum actually said these words out loud to the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you are opening a bottle of champagne, don't do it as the player is about to serve. This happened during the match between Anastasia Potapova and Mira Andreeva. Potapova tossed the ball in the air to serve, and a cork popped, and the serve went long. Somehow, and then the umpire said, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you are opening a bottle of champagne, don't do it as the player is about to serve. I would love to hear that from an umpire at the U.S. Open, or better yet, at a Rangers game at the Garden. 83 degrees in Midtown, going down to a low later on tonight of 68. Wins News Time, 6:18. Headlines up next.
And paid for by Linear Marketing Group. Are you drowning in debt? Are you struggling to make minimum payments? Did you know that on average, a household with at least one credit card struggles with over $17,000 in credit card debt? If this sounds like you, know that it's not your fault. Credit card debt happens to good people. Credit card companies lure you in with low introductory rates and low minimum payments. Before you know it, you're in over your head. We've helped thousands of good people just like you become debt-free with our Debt Reset program that will dramatically reduce your debt down to a fraction of what you owe. One low monthly payment. If you owe over $10,000 in credit card debt or even personal loans, call 800-595-4305 now. There are no upfront fees or out-of-pocket expenses. You don't pay a dime until we succeed. Call now to see how the Debt Reset program can work for you. 800-595-4305. That's 800-595-4305. Again, 800-595-4305.
You know that spot where our signal gets a bit staticky? You can fix that right now with the flip of the button to 92.3 FM.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good evening. It's 83 degrees at 6:20. I'm Bud Mishkin. Here's what's happening. Tragedy in Brooklyn. A 3-year-old child is dead in East Flatbush. Funeral today in Brooklyn for the victim in Saturday's shooting spree in Cypress Hills, Brooklyn, and Jamaica, Queens. The sports doctor who was convicted of sexually abusing female gymnasts was stabbed multiple times in prison in Florida. Numerous advisories are up for bathing at beaches in Nassau and Suffolk counties because of stormwater runoff caused by yesterday's heavy rains. And the FDNY being thanked for a stand it took 60 years ago in Birmingham, Alabama. Sports, American Christopher Eubanks is on quite a run at Wimbledon, on to his first Wimbledon quarterfinal after a 5-set upset today. It's baseball's All-Star break, the Home Run Derby with Pete Alonso tonight in Seattle. News time, 6:21. That's time for traffic and transit with Greg Rice.
Well, big-time trouble continues at the George. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. They're getting rid of accidents on the outbound upper level closer to Jersey and the inbound upper level under the apartments, but not the backups. Inbound upper level's an absolute mess. Lowers where you go. Southbound Deegan, best of it out. Southbound and west side, they just got rid of the stall from the right lane of the 140s, but it's still jammed from the George on down. Lincoln's about 15 in, no more than 10 out. Outbound Holland's all right, but the outbound Skyway's a mess. Southbound 1 and 9 a standstill coming down towards the Passaic River, and the inbound Skyway runs you an extra 30. All in all, stay with the Newark Bay extension. It's going to treat you a whole lot better. Verrazano, Brooklyn bound upper level, still a couple of lanes out with police work. Lower level treats you better. Queens bound Whitestone Bridge, northbound Whitestone Expressway. All of it is awful getting onto the southbound Cross Island because of a truck that tried to get onto the southbound Cross Island and ran headfirst into an overpass for its troubles. Garden State Parkway southbound at 138 in Kenilworth. That's an accident. You got the two right lanes out and a mess all the way on back towards Irvington as a result, getting you through that area. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. Southern State flows west to the Wansaw, again from right around Meadowbrook Road to Eagle Avenue. Eastbound flows from Newbridge Road, getting out towards the Bethpage. LY is an eastbound crawl, getting out towards Glen, Cove Road. Northern State westbound company from Shelter Rock Road back to Queens. Eastbound slows getting on to the Meadowbrook. Traffic is sponsored by Hint Water. Hint Water, delicious fruit-infused water with zero sugar or diet sweeteners. Hint is water with a touch of true fruit flavor. Available in stores across the U.S. or delivered to you at hintwater.com. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Tragedy in East Flatbush, Brooklyn today. Police say a 3-year-old boy is dead. Police responded to a 911 call just before 3 o'clock on Farragut Road in East Flatbush. Authorities say the child's injuries were consistent with a fall from an elevated position. This building resident spoke with Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Hysterical, all upset and stuff. They're howling, saying different kids' names. I don't know the language they speak. It was awful. I'm trying to get out my head now. But, the way the child was just laying there,
The investigation is continuing. Funeral services today for the victim in Saturday's shootings in Cypress Hills, Brooklyn, and Jamaica, Queens.
Thousands knelt, bowed, and prayed before the casket of 86-year-old Hamoud al-Saidi, his eldest son, Ahmed Saidi.
We need justice for my father, also for the other victims who got shot. This has been a very bad time for us. The family are all devastated and heartbroken.
His father was known as a peaceful man on his way to mosque when he was shot in the back at random by who police believe to be 25-year-old Thomas Abreu riding a scooter. Mayor Adams made remarks.
This is a pillar of our city, and I'm going to remain committed to what I'm doing to make this one of the safest big cities in America.
Christy Kalishian, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
The suspect in the shootings, 25-year-old Thomas Abreu, is said to still be in the hospital. He was scheduled to be arraigned today on murder and other charges. Wins News Time, 6:24. NYPD has released surveillance video of 2 suspects in ski masks wanted for this weekend's Staten Island deli shooting. The owner of the deli was killed during a botched holdup. Police say the suspects burst into the Manor Deli and Convenience in Castleton Corners just before 8 o'clock Saturday night. They were trying to rob the store and instead shot and killed 35-year-old Bassam Khatib. Footage shows the suspects first targeting a smoke shop. Then, when they were unable to get in there, they moved on to the Manor Deli about 4 miles away, shot and killed the owner, and then ran back to their maroon Jeep Cherokee. The video shows they were last seen driving to New Jersey on the Staten Island Expressway. When it's news time, 6:25. President Biden has arrived in Lithuania after a visit with the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and tea with King Charles.
President Biden met at 10 Downing Street Monday with British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, their 6th meeting in 6 months.
Good to be back. You know, we've only been meeting once a month. We met in San Diego, Belfast, Hiroshima, Washington, here, and couldn't be meeting with a closer friend and a greater ally.
The White House says the two leaders spoke about this week's NATO summit in Lithuania and reiterated their steadfast support for Ukraine in its war against Russia. They also talked about U.S.-UK economic partnership and developments in Northern Ireland.
And that report coming to us from correspondent Karen Travers. 3 degrees in Midtown, going down to a low of 68 later on tonight. Winds News Time, 6:26. Time for Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Winds. Here's Andrew O'Day.
If you pay interest on credit cards, this won't come as a shock. Rates hit their highest on record in May, and that was enough to change behavior. The Fed Reserve says growth in credit card spending slowed, and so-called non-revolving credits, such as auto and student loans, fell for the first time in 3 years, as 5-year auto loan rates hit 16-year highs. While FedEx watches its revenue fall from slowing e-commerce and UPS braces for a possible end-of-month strike by its drivers, the old U.S. Postal Service is plotting its next, it hopes, competitive move. Following a disaster 2020 holiday season when USPS packages routinely arrived late, its on-time performance has improved to where it's now on par with rivals. And Dow Jones says its newly launched Ground Advantage now aims to move packages 70 pounds or fewer across the country cheaper than FedEx or UPS. Stocks rose to kick off the new week. Dow added 210, NASDAQ up 25, S&P rose 11. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Andrew O'Day, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Now this message, old car giving you problems? Why not donate it? Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS today. Winds News Time, 6:27.
When you own a small business in New York, sometimes you need funds fast. So go to OnDeck, America's largest online small business lender, with over $15 billion funded. OnDeck makes it easy. You can apply in minutes. And if approved, get your small business loan as soon as the same day. Go to OnDeck.com. Your loan is on deck.
Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, the Utah Chartered Industrial Bank member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
Water's Edge Rehab and Nursing Center at Port Jefferson is Suffolk County's premier location for short-term rehabilitation and long-term skilled nursing care. The Water's Edge experience enlivens guests' physical and emotional strength through cutting-edge technology and highly trained healthcare professionals to get them back to their fullest potential of renewal. Rehabilitate, rejuvenate, and recover at Water's Edge. Visit watersedgernc.com to learn more. That's watersedgernc.com.
This is a special alert.